Hi, this is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. Holla. All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you. This is Faith, and you are watching The Faith Factor. And today I want to go over quite a few things with you. I want to go over that 911 call tape that's been floating around. I'm quite sure that you have heard it already. So we're going to go over that briefly. I don't want to, slosh over something that's already been sloshed over. And also, I want to go into why, because there's a lot of Black women doing a lot of, finger wagging at other Black women. We're wagging our fingers at each other. You got Black woman against Black woman, because some of us don't feel as if it is the how can I say? I have no idea why my audio keeps going out. I haven't figured that problem out as of yet, but I am definitely working on it. Don't know why that happens. But let me know if you can hear me now. But I think it's fixed because I see that the mic button is now active. But what I was saying was we're going to go over that 911 audio, and we're going to talk about the finger wagging in the sisterhood, because we have on one side the Black women that say, hey, we don't like the fact that you guys are out here celebrating a man while he's dead. We don't like it. So we have all these female content creators. I mean, I have gone into some of my favorites, Black women that I love listening to their content, and they're up there doing no other than shame on you. Shame on you for being happy. And there's just certain things you just don't do. You don't do it. You don't do it. You don't do it. Shame, shame, shame. So we're, doing the shame game. We're throwing the Bible at each other. I went somewhere just this morning and got the Bible thrown at me. So I guess I will be seeing Kevin Samuels where he's at, according to some of these Black women. And the Tomboy Chronicles said, I just waved and gave him a farewell. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, with all these Black women running around here talking about empowerment, and we're tired of people trying to tell Black women what to do. You got to stop trying to control Black women, yada, 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 on and on and on. This is what you hear. Yet Black women, we haven't thought about this, ladies, but ladies, it looks like Black women are trying to control other Black women. We're trying to tell each other how we're supposed to feel and how we're supposed to react in a situation that is unique to all of us. Let me tell you something. Kevin Samuels meant something different to everybody online. And how she felt about Kevin Samuels is not how the other woman feels about Kevin Samuels. So I might run into a woman that absolutely adored his and loved his dirty draws. I can't tell that Black woman how to feel. As much as I despise Kevin Samuels and I think that she's stupid, I can say I think she's stupid, but I can't tell her not to feel that way. The same way she can't tell me not to celebrate and be happy that the man is gone. Then you got some Black women that are secretly happy that he's gone, but they're the type that says, hey, if you ain't got nothing to say, just don't say nothing at all. You got them running around here. I forgot the third bunch. Exactly, ice cream cake. Black women are policing black women's emotions. We're policing each other's emotions. And that is not black woman empowerment. Black woman empowerment is allowing each woman to be her own woman. And I encourage every single one of you to be your own woman. I always tell you, can't nobody tell you how to feel on the inside. The only thing that I ask of you is that whatever you do, make sure you do it with your own best interests at heart. So if you want to celebrate, celebrate. And let me give you an example of what I'm talking about as far as woman empowerment. Because see, it seems to me that women of other cultures, women of other races, they get it, but we as black women, we have yet to get it. I was on Reddit. Do you guys know the site Reddit? That's the site where they like to hang out. You know what I'm talking about when I say they. That's their site. And so there was a Caucasian lady on that site, and she had a really bad experience with an abuser. Now, this was a guy that she said did some things to her when she was young. She didn't really go into any, detail, but he passed away. And she was on Reddit questioning why, if it was appropriate for her to be happy that her abuser was dead. She said when she found out the news, she said, I instantly got a pep in my step. I instantly held my head up high. I felt good. I felt relieved. That's what she wrote in her post. And she said, I wonder if this is normal. And other women of her ethnicity, other Caucasian women, came in by the troves and said, no, you're not wrong. Honey, if you're going to celebrate, I'll bring the wine. Another woman came in, another Caucasian woman said, hey, I got donuts. Another Caucasian woman came in, hey, I'm pregnant, but I can bring some juices that I like and we can celebrate his ass being dead. And it was about 200 posts. I went all up and down trying to find the one Caucasian woman that was going to come in and shame them for saying that they should celebrate the man's death. And I didn't see any. This is on Reddit. And so back over here in the Chitlin circuit, I'm stumbling across video after video, live stream after live stream of black women. Shame on you. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. If you don't have nothing to say, don't say nothing at all. Why? Ladies, what's up, Shatira? Ladies, why is it that we feel obligated to keep up an appearance in situations where we have been verbally, mentally, physically, and emotionally abused by people? Why do we feel the need to protect that person's legacy by not saying anything? Why do we feel that we shouldn't be happy when our abusers and oppressors die? Why should we not celebrate? Ice Cream Cake said most black women are so mammothized. Yes. I think it's Stockholm syndrome. We have mass Stockholm syndrome. And mind you, if you want to be mammothized, I don't even want to call it mammification. Because if you don't want to celebrate, that is your right. Black woman empowerment is, hey, you do you, I do me. I'm not going to tell you or how to live and and try to control your emotions. And don't you try to control mine. Sis, we all have a right to voice our thoughts and our opinions. But when you have a person that didn't do right by you in life, and when we're speaking with Kevin Samuels, he didn't do right by Black women as a group. He built his platform off your pain and suffering. And he had no intention of helping you. He planned to use you and exploit you like a pimp plans to exploit the women that work for him and use them and take their money. That's exactly what Kevin Samuels did. And if the women showed any signs of wanting to get away, he verbally, mentally, and sometimes physically abused them. Now, Kevin Samuels wasn't physically abusing anybody on here, but he was verbally, mentally, and emotionally abusing women that opposed his point of view. And he did it intentionally, day after day, night after night. And there were Black women that kept begging other Black women to stop calling into his show. Stop going over there and giving him money. Stop making him relevant. Yes, Q Savage. Most of them were willing parties. I'm not even disputing that. But you know, after a while, I said, they're just going to do it. So if they want to be stupid, if they want to run over there, if their self-esteem is that low that they need this man's validation, guess what? Go ahead and do it, dummy. Go ahead and do it. You're the one that's going to look dumb in the end. And see, it wasn't just Black women that didn't like Kevin Samuels. I want to make this distinction because a lot of Black men are under the impression that Black women that didn't like him were running up there trying to, I guess, face off with him. That's not true. It was the Black women that respected him and who were seeking his advice that was going to him. Those were the Black women. Now, every now and then he would have what you would call a smoke show. And then he would invite just the Black women that had something adversarial to say to him to come on the show. But he would always say he only wanted women to call in. That was his target because he was serving two audiences. He was serving the Black female audience that needed male approval, and he was serving the Black male audience that needed a self-esteem boost by watching him pretty much abuse these women online for their entertainment. So he was serving two audiences. So he did a 2-for-1 on all of his streams. And that's the reason why he blew up. Mia Lynn says you can't save them all. Definitely. Thank you. Thank you. You can't save them all. And we shouldn't try. Ladies, we have got to start learning to let that woman be her own woman. Now, you can warn her. And I'll warn you once. I'll be your sister, and I'll pull your coattail. Hey, sis, your slip is showing. And if you turn around and cuss me out and tell me I don't give a damn if my slip is showing, who the F is you to try to tell me not to let my slip drop? I like my slip to be dropped. I sis. I was just trying to tell you, you got some tissue on the bottom of your shoe. But if you like a tissue on the bottom of your shoe, you go right ahead, tissue girl. Go right ahead, tissue girl. Step on with that tissue at the bottom of your shoe. I was just trying to tell you. See, all you have to do that one time, and they can come out here and they can look like damn fools all they want. That's on them. It's equal opportunity out here for grown folks. You had an opportunity to get the tissue off the bottom of your shoe, but you didn't want to. All right, sis. Go with God and your tissue. Q Savage says, honestly, I thought it was funny because the women kept on calling to get bashed on the tube. Exactly. And Q Savage, you're right. They were displaying some hellified pick-me behavior over there on Kevin Samuels. They would come in there and they would see how he just talked to the last woman that called in. And then here comes some heifer stepping up to be the next contestant on I'm gonna fire up that ass. Because Kevin Samuels will roast them all. Even the ones that come in there, ooh, Kevin, I watch your show all the time. I just loves your dirty draws, Kevin. If you was here, I would give you a sloppy toppy right here. And he would turn around and say, you're average, bitch. He would turn around and play that elephant music. He would play them slapping noises, and then he would send them off with the taps. And they were in there giving him the best sloppy topping cyber blowjob you ever want to hear. Oh, Kevin, I just love him. Yeah, you're still average, bitch. You know what, Ice Cream Cake? Some of them acted like they were hurt, and then others of them were just smiling, like they were just happy to be there. Like, I believe that some of them just wanted the experience of just being able to say, I called in and talked to Kevin Samuels. It's the most peculiar thing I had ever seen. But I mentioned this on Information Man show, and he has an awesome show, by the way. Some of those women, I do believe, were plants. And I've said this before. Kevin Samuels have said on numerous occasions that he uses women. And so what he would do is his favorite thing was to use escorts. He said if he could take a beautiful woman and he could put her on his arm and he could use her, and just for the mere fact that she was beautiful and she had a sort of what do you call it, swag about her, a way of carrying herself, that garnered him attention because he was with her. And he said he would use these women to get the eye of the larger bosses that could actually elevate him in whatever career that he was in. And that's how he did what he did. So in him using women like this early on, what makes you think that he's not using women for his call-in show? And I've said this everywhere I could say this. This man, you could kind of tell the ones that were plants, because I don't believe that they were all plants. I do believe that there were some that was just stupid that would call in. But the ones that were plants, he would let them talk. He wouldn't talk over them. He would have a back and forth conversation. And you can kind of tell that the conversations were scripted because the woman would say things that would lead right into his usual message. And I'm like, wow, isn't that ironic that she would say it in just that way and it coincides with his agenda. Well, those are the ones that I believe were plants because there was no interruptions. It was a clear back and forth. Now, the ones that I knew were plants, these would usually be women who were out of shape or unattractive. And so he would bring them on and he would make examples of those women. He'll play the I'm a PhD or the elephant music. Boom, 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 boom. And he would cut these women off. He wouldn't give them a chance to talk or explain themselves as to why they felt the way they felt. I knew that those were not plants. So you could tell the difference. If you ever watch a Kevin Samuels video, watch and you'll be able to pick out the real people from the plants. Use that formula and I guarantee you will start seeing it too. Right, Ice Cream Cake, the ones coming on always wearing bonnets, knowing that they would be seen by millions. Who does that? I started becoming suspicious when I tried to go into a Zoom call because I was down in the chat and I was saying some things I was disagreeing with his talking points. And you know how a lot of black men to this day, they'll say, oh, you guys are doing these videos on Kevin Samuels after he died. No, I had been doing videos while he was alive. I tried to talk in his chat room. I was, disagreeing with some stuff that he was saying in his chat room. Got blocked. He did not want a difference of opinion in his chat room. So then they go, oh, how come you didn't call into his show, Faith? Faith did try to call into his show. Sat back there in that Zoom room, and guess what, y'all? Got dropped. So I said, okay, all right. He must, he must have accidentally dropped some people from back here. I'm gonna try it again. Called right back in, got dropped. I was like, wait a minute, is it me? Is it my stuff or is it his stuff? Let me try this again. Call back in, got dropped. So I became suspicious after that this was all a setup. Faith, I remember you and Kevin had words last year. I never talked to Kevin. Well, I talked to him briefly in maybe a chat room or two, but never on his live. I never talked to him on his live. I could never get through. Exactly, Ice Cream Cake. How am I looking for a man, but going a live looking a hot mess? All of this was scripted. You can just tell the people who were planted to be there for the show. And he's an image consultant, and he's also very good at marketing. So he knew what to give to his audience. He gave his audience everything that they were looking for. And that's how he was able to blow up. And he didn't just do this overnight. He did this over a number of years, studying other content creators and their talking points. And he took a combination of every content creator's talking points that had some really strong messages. And he put it together in a compilation, tied it up in a neat little bow, and called it his own. And then he strategically marketed it back to them. And some of them whose content he's stolen, like Obsidian, he stole a lot of stuff from Obsidian. But these guys said, hey, even if he stole from me, he's doing a damn thing. I'm going to get behind him and root for him. Oh, you can go watch Jason Black's latest video about Kevin Samuels passing. Jason Black goes, hey, he stole a lot of stuff from me, but I can't be no hater. Because they all thought that he was going to take them with him. They thought that he was going to take them with him, not knowing that secretly Kevin Samuels really hated you niggas in the manosphere. He hated you. And how you know he didn't like you? When you all had your little meetup over there in Atlanta where he lives, he snubbed the hell out of you by not even deigning to show up. He snubbed the hell out of you. He can't stand you all. Well, he couldn't stand you all. Right, Ice Cream Cake. He couldn't stand any of them. And yes, thank you so much. Reaction Satisfaction says, join the Faith Factor channel membership by clicking the blue join button to the left and the subscribe button. So thank you so much, Reaction Satisfaction. I appreciate that. Let's see what else you all are saying. Neurally Ferriston says he didn't think nor believe Black women deserve to be respected, protected, cared for, and loved. I don't see why we should have some kind of sympathy for them. Exactly. Black women are not going to, well, some Black women, we're not going to have sympathy for a man that did that much damage to a lot of Black women's self-esteem. There's a lot of Black women to this day. You will see them in different chat rooms talking about how badly damaged their self-esteem was from watching his content. And I'm just like, if you're watching this man's content and you walk away feeling worse than what you did going in there, why are you watching? I'm not going to watch anything that makes me feel bad. Kevin did not have the power to make me feel bad because I know who I am. And there's nothing that a man like him or any man thinking they look like him or even any man that don't look like him. I don't care what man you are. You're not going to tear me down and make me feel some kind of way about myself. I'm already a self-actualized woman. What's up, all things Nata Jean? King Art 70 says, yes, it was. They hate it because these pass me up Black women couldn't deal with it. No, not really. See, here's the thing that a lot of Black men hate. This is the reality. Y'all hate the fact that Black women are becoming more and more educated. And when we became more educated, something else began to happen. We began to see the world differently. We began to look around and say, hey, I deserve better than Pookie over here laying on my couch every day while I get up and go to work. And hey, maybe Pookie don't need to be in my house every day when I go to work around my young teenage daughter. So Pookie was being kicked out of the house left and right in the Black community as Black women slowly began to wake up. And Black men became angry. And this is why you have this massive bomb rebellion that you're seeing today. With Black men rebelling, attacking Black women and women in general out of nowhere because they're being thrown off couches in every apartment in every Black woman's house across America as Black women are beginning to wake up. Yes, Ice Cream Cake, the bomb rebellion has been going on for the last 5 years. And it's going to get worse. These bums are going to rebel even more because you're waking up and they don't like it. And so they needed someone like Kevin Samuels to put you back to sleep. Kevin Samuels, he made fun and he made a mockery and he tried to diminish and minimize a Black woman who is educated. I'm a PhD. He made fun of it. He told you that your education meant nothing to a high value man, or any man for that matter. He tried to convince you not to be worldly and go out into the world and to look around and explore and find out new things. No, he says, you don't need to do any of that. All you need to do is be fit, feminine, and friendly. Fit, feminine, friendly, and he left out dumb. Fit, feminine, friendly, and dumb. That's what he wanted you to be. Absolutely. Ice cream cake, you are on the ball down here in the chat room. She says black women are many black men's financial and retirement plans. And he's absolutely right. Now, there's something that I want to share with you. I want to share with you briefly this story that I tumbled across. It was on Paris Milan's channel. And she's the one that first brought attention to this story. But let me see if I can find it. There's a story of a young woman. Her name is Monty Foster. And I did put in the, what do you call it? The information section on my video. I put her channel information in the information section. But Miss Monty Foster has a very interesting story to tell about her abuse growing up as a child. And I also want you to check out the video on Paris Milan's channel, because Paris Milan has all the receipts. Paris Milan first stumbled across Monty's channel when people on Twitter was going off on Monty's mother, because she was defending her Lord and Savior in grace, Kevin Samuels. Monty's mother was saying that you all, she was doing the finger wagging, you black women, you all should not speak ill of the dead. Kevin Samuels did so much for the black community, she was saying. And people were going back and forth with her. And so then she wanted to make her point. She said, yes, Kevin Samuels is right about some of these young kids. These young kids be lying on their stepfathers. My 13-year-old daughter tried to steal my man twice, she says. And you can go back and to Paris's video, because I don't want to take anything away from Paris, because she was the one that first broke the story. You can go back and read what this mother was saying on Twitter. And she went on to say, my 13-year-old tried to steal my man twice. So I know how these kids be lying. She was a Kevin Samuels supporter. Now, remember that video that I did a critique on, where Kevin Samuels was speaking with a woman. And the woman did not introduce this, by the way. Kevin introduced this into the conversation about what if your child was coming out of the shower? It's not my child, but it's your child. And 10 years later, she tells you, hey, you know, your husband was watching me come out of the shower. And he told that woman, see, this is why black men wouldn't deal with a woman like you, because your desire to protect your child is more than your desire to please your man. And you should make sure that if you have a child that isn't his, well, you should find a way to make that child useful to your man, because he does not have to be bothered with you and that child. This is what Kevin Samuels told this woman. So now fast forward to this Twitter battle with this woman defending Kevin Samuels' death, whose daughter was impregnated by her 40-year-old husband. Her 13-year-old daughter was impregnated by her 40-year-old husband. And she's blaming her 13-year-old daughter and saying that Kevin Samuels is right. These kids be lying. Go to Paris Milan's channel and watch that video when you get a chance. Not now, because I'm holding class. I'm holding, church is in session right now, but later. So now what I want to do for you is I want to play a snippet of this young lady telling her story. And you can watch the rest of it on her channel. Make sure you watch it on her channel. I know Paris has it in her video. But go to this young woman's channel and show her some love. I showed her some love in the comment section. I want all of you to do the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my screen share together right now, because this is the legacy that Kevin Samuels leaves behind with that rhetoric. And this is the reason why Black women are celebrating. This is the reason why we're relieved that he's gone. Him and his rhetoric. Okay, so let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to open it up. There we go. And on my end, I'm just going to put the screen to full screen so you guys can see the full thing. But this is her sexual abuse story.
Hi everyone, my name is Martine Foster. I'm 21 years old, and today I'm going to tell y'all my sexual abuse story. So, first I want to say, if anybody blames a child in any, there's no reason for you to blame a child at all. At the end of the day, that is that adult's fault. I just don't understand how somebody can look at a child and say, oh, you had part in it too, or anything of that nature. Because at the end of the day, that was a child. It doesn't matter if that child didn't tell for a long time. There's different reasons why people don't tell. It's so much mental stuff to it. People just aren't really understanding. A lot of people, they're ignorant to it. And that's why a lot of people are scared to come out with their stories and everything. But I'm just gonna say this: the first time that I ever experienced any sexual abuse was
Carmel King, this young lady was sexually abused at the age of 13 by her mother's 40-year-old husband. I would not call that a hot girl summer. But let me continue to play the video.
I believe I was 5 or 6 years old. And I'm not going to say the family member's name or anything. The family member does not stay with me. They never have stayed with me. But I was 5 or 6 years old, and I used to go to their house all the time. And they were a child also. And that was my first sexual experience. But there was no penetration at that point or anything like that. But basically, this person, they were on top of me, just rubbing up against me. I remember seeing seeing this person's penis, and it's, to be honest, it is kind of blurry, but that's just the two main parts that I remember. But that is the first time that I ever experienced anything sexual. And then the second time I was 8 years old, and this wasn't with the family member this was not with the family member that I'm talking about right now. This is a whole nother person right now. And also, I don't hold anything against that family member that did that to me when I was 5 or 6 years old, because I feel like They were probably going through things on their own of their own. But still that doesn't justify it. They shouldn't have done that, but it's just I don't hold anything against them because I feel like they were going through their own things. But I'm sorry if the camera quality is messed up, y'all. Like I'm on my little MacBook right now. This is all I have. I have a little Android right here. So this is like my best bet as far as like camera quality right now. But later on I hope to, get something better. But I'm gonna continue. The second time I was 8 years old, and this was my mother's husband. And at this point, no penetration had happened yet. Um,
Okay, so she's gonna get into telling you about how her mother's husband started abusing her at the age of 8. So the first one was when she was 5 years old, and it was a family member who she said was also a child, but he was a much older child. And then the second time was at 8 years old, and it was her mother's husband. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. And the reason why I'm interjecting is because of the algorithm in YouTube. They require that you interject here and there, when you're playing these videos. So I can't play it all the way through without interjecting. But let me go ahead and continue.
Basically, well, okay, first, I was raised by my grandmother basically my whole life, and my mom, I would go visit my mom sometimes. So I'm my mom's first child. I'm 21, and then I have three brothers. So my mom, I would go to her house sometimes and go visit her, and she had a husband, and he stayed home, and like she would work, so he would stay and like watch the kids and stuff.
Her
So
mother's husband was a bum that didn't work. She was supporting
one
him.
night she was at work, and I believe I was in the living room watching TV, and he approached me in the living room, and he asked me to come lay down with him. Because at this point, everybody in the house was sleeping. Like everyone, like the TV was on, but everybody in the house was sleeping, and I was just up watching TV. And back then, I was 8 years old, so like I mean, you're still kind of like a little kid, and as your pajamas, you'll probably wear like a little t-shirt with just like your panties or whatever. But I mean, still like my t-shirt was like covering up my like it was like a big, like it was a long t-shirt. So anyways, I was sitting in the living room watching TV, and he came in there and he asked me if I wanted to come lay down with him. And I shook my head. I was like, no. But he was like, okay, come on anyways. And like I was just so like I was scared. Like I didn't know what to do. Like I went in there, and in your 8 year old mind, you're just kind of stunned, like you're kind of in shock. So like I went in there and I laid down, and he was spooning. He started spooning me, and also this man at this time, I don't know, who's probably between 35 and 40 at this time when this did occur. So and he started, just rubbing all on my body and stuff. And then after that, he said, "Do you want to get up?" And after that, I ended up getting up and going back to the living room. So that was the first.
Okay, I'm going to speed it up a little bit, guys.
At that point, I feel like she really just should have left me where I was at, since I had been with my grandmother for so long. And when I ended up having to go stay with my mom, that really did hurt my grandma. It hurt her so bad. But we were still close, and I would go to my grandma's house on the weekends and everything still. because I could ride the bus to her house on the weekends and everything. So this when this happened when I was 10 years old, I was in my room after school just watching TV, and he came in my room. He would always knock on my door. He'd always knock. He came in my room. I said, "Come in," and he came in, and he sat on the bed next to me, and he kept trying to get me to kiss him, and I told him no. So and at this time, my mom, she of course she was at work when this happened, and then after that, he left out my room. So right after that, I got a pen and paper, and I wrote down what had happened when I was 8 years old, and I wrote down the events that happened that
At
day when I
10
was
years
8,
old, she
and I gave it to her when she got home, and she didn't like. She seemed like very surprised, but like still like nothing happened that day. Like, cause not long after that, we ended up moving about 30 miles from where we were already where I'm sorry where we were originally staying at. We ended up moving, and I guess that's when she ended up confronting him about it, and he was saying that I was lying and that like that didn't happen. And she told me, she said if she found out that I was lying, that she was gonna beat me. And I never did end up getting beat, but like he ended up staying. He ended up being out the house for like 2 weeks, and then after that, he was just back in the house, and that was it. And she said that he said he was sorry for what he did and everything, and that he wouldn't have it wouldn't happen anymore. And if he had penetrated me, then she would have left him. So the fact that he tried to kiss me, and the fact that he was when I was 10 years old, and the fact that he was messing with me when I was 8 years old, just went like over her head. She was just like, at least he didn't penetrate you. Like, as long as he didn't penetrate you, it's fine. Like, just like forget about it. He said he's sorry for it. He's not gonna like do it no more. So after we moved to this place that we had moved, because the abuse from my stepfather didn't really get started until I was 13 years old. And so
I'm just fast forwarding through, guys,
we moved
because
around a lot when we were up
it
there. I
takes
really
her a
told you
while to
why we
get to
moved
the
around
actual
so much.
abuse.
But the first time like he ever kind of tried me while we were up there was like I had this little MP3 player, and I sometimes I'd leave it laying around and stuff. And he I was in my room, and he called me to come in there and get it, and I come in there, and he had his penis out, and I basically like grabbed the MP3 player real quick and just went back to my room. So not long after that, I think we moved to this apartment, because we moved when we first came down south. We were in this house, and then we moved into this apartment.
So the first attempt of him
And
trying was him calling her into the room to get an
again,
MP3
my
player,
mom,
which
she
he
always
probably
being
took
at
it
work.
and went into the room to get her to go in there.
And
So I'm
that
going to speed
is
it up some
placed,
more.
you know what, actually, prior to when we were in that first house that we were in, um I ended up going to juvenile detention center for 2 weeks, but it was because of him. Um, because my mom, he decided that He told my mom that he was gonna leave if she didn't let him beat me specifically. He said that he was gonna leave, and it's like I wouldn't even do anything, and I just come home from school, and he would just say, "Oh, you did this, this, and that. Like, come put something thin on, because you about to get beat." And one day I was not gonna let him do it, and I ended up having a physical altercation with him. And after that, the police were called, and I ended up going to the juvenile detention center for 2 weeks. And my mom, she knew he was wrong for it. She did. But still she took his side and everything, because she knew that I did not do anything. And they always tried to portray me as like, you know what? I'm just gonna like hold on for a minute, and I'm just gonna jump over a little bit, and I'm just gonna come back to that another time, because I do plan on doing more videos. Um
So
so
basically,
when the
he asked the mother, let me pause it here, to let him beat her because at first the mother was not allowing him to whoop her. So he told the mother he was going to leave because he wasn't able to discipline her in particular. Now, this is how dumb some of these women are. You're going to let a man that is not your child's father beat your child. And then you find out that he's doing this, and some of the reasoning from him doing it is unwarranted. And she said right just there that her mother knew that he was wrong in the last instance, but she took his side anyway. Right then and there, the mother should have known something was going on, why it was important for him to have to lay hands on her daughter. But let's go and jump ahead.
when these after that, I we my brothers, they'd always play outside, and I used to play outside too, but he would always call me in the house. So I'm sorry if I'm jumping around, y'all, because it's a lot. Like, there's so many details, and I don't want to like confuse y'all or anything. And this is also kind of like, it's just a hard thing to talk about, because like I had been just debating for a long time about talking about this, and just like, because people had their own opinions, and also people, they will take a sexual abuses victim's trauma, and they will try to turn it against them and use it against them. Like, I've had a boyfriend that has done it. He's used that and turned it against me. And also another boyfriend that he acted like he was kind of turned on by the fact that I was abused. And he actually said, "Oh, I thought girls like you like were very like sexually active. That's kind of part of why I like pursued you." But I'm gonna go.
Okay, it's a lot to unpack there. So she's saying that she would try to have boyfriends and she would kind of like give them a heads up. Hey, I'm a victim of sexual abuse. And so there's some things that you might, have to consider being with me. And they tried to take that and weaponize it against this young woman. She had one young man, she says, turns around and said, ooh, he was turned on by it. Just peep how these Negroes, they're demons. They're demons. Instead of them empathizing with her, saying, wow, that's a terrible thing that happened to you. Well, I will take my time with you. I'm sorry that happened to you. No. Oh, I'm turned on. That's part of the reason why I got with you. Oh, your abuser must have got you primed and ready for this. I mean, the nerve and the audacity. But this is the mind and thought process of some of these Negroes out here. And this is the reason why I did my video years ago. Black women are right not to trust black male leadership, because in mass, and I'm not saying all, but it's just in mass, collectively, you can't trust them. Demons. But I'll continue.
Go back to that. I'm going to talk about that another time. He'd make life very hard for me around the house, and he'll just be very terrible for me, and he would abuse me mentally. So basically the second time that he rubbed on me, he actually ended up penetrating me that time, and that is how I lost my virginity. Um, yeah, that's how I lost my virginity. And after that, this abuse continued. Um, and my mom, like, there's a lot more details and everything, but this is just kind of like, I guess this is just like part one of kind of just what I went through. But as of now, I don't speak to my mother, um, because basically she feels like me and him both had a part in it. Basically, she thinks that, I was just doing it because I wanted to be with him, and I guess just because me and her were having our difficult time. But I just don't understand. Like, I would, like, that was my virginity. Why would I want to give my virginity to your almost 40-year-old husband? Why would I want to be having sex with your 40-year-old husband? Like, at the age I'm 13 years old, I want to be able to have boyfriends and just, like, and just enjoy, and also just enjoy being a kid. Because at this point, like, I was still enjoying playing outside, running around, playing tag and stuff too. So that happened. Oh, and I didn't come out with it until I was probably like, okay, summer of 2018 or 2019. That's when I finally came out with it, and I went to the police about it. Because for the longest time, my mom and him kind of had me brainwashed, thinking, okay, this is not that big of a deal. This is, like, he apologized for it. You just need to move on. You you just need to move on and live your life. And that.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it right there, guys, because you guys need to hear the full story on her actual page. But there's a lot more to it. I mean, a lot more in her part two of the story. And like I said, you didn't really hear all of her part one because I jumped through here and there just for the purposes of time. But this was a 13-year-old who was, wow, who was M by her mother's husband. He molested her. And it's so sad. It's so sad that her mother, you know, just didn't believe her, that she would always take this guy's side. And this is what Kevin Samuels was telling that woman when remember I played Kevin Samuels to you guys, and he was telling her, hey, your desire to protect your child is too strong. It's stronger than your desire to please your husband. It's stronger than your desire to protect your husband from your lying child. So this is what Kevin Samuels' message creates. Her mother was on Twitter defending Kevin Samuels and telling black people that Kevin Samuels great things for the Black community. Well, lady, we see what great things he did in your family. We see what great advice he gave you, and you in telling you not to believe your daughter and to believe your husband over your daughter. We see, Kevin, we see what your legacy has done. So you, one of your staunch fans and supporters, they're on Twitter windmilling for you in death, Kevin, while her daughter is trying to recover and trying to find her way as an adult woman and pick up the pieces of her life from the mess that that man rained on her from the time that she was 8 years old. From the time that she was 8 years old, do you realize this young woman did not have a childhood? But Kevin, you telling Black women to make their children useful to their husbands. Like, how can a child be useful to a grown ass man? What did you mean by that, Kevin? And see all of your followers telling Black women to shame on us for celebrating your death. Shame. Kiss my ass. Kiss my whole ass. All of you. I celebrate because that message is gone. I only wish that they could strike down his channel and take the rest of his videos with him. This is why Black women celebrate, in case some of you didn't know. Because see, it's a lot of you out here wagging your finger at Black women for celebrating the death, but you didn't deem to ask these women why you hate this man so much. And when we even told you, I went into several chat rooms and I told these women to their faces that this is what this man said about children. And they didn't believe me, and I'm a grown ass woman. So if these grown ass women can look at me, another grown ass woman, and not believe me, can you imagine what they would do with a child that comes to them and try to tell them the same thing? Can you imagine? If they could dismiss me, a grown woman, they would dismiss a child too. And these are the bitches that's running around here with their holier than thou finger in the air, telling you that you're wrong for celebrating this monster's death. And they'll try to make an excuse for this monster. Well, you know, they interpreted it wrong, Faith. Now, you know, he can't help it if they interpreted what he said wrong. He didn't outright just come out and tell people to not believe their kids. Yes, he did. He said that if you have a desire to protect your children more than your desire to look out for your husband, then a high value man should not be looking out for you. He did say that. Blind ass heifers. Yes, melanated vessel, the numbers of molestation is off the charts in the community. It's sad that I would have to sit here and try to explain to other women why some of us celebrated this man's passing. If you all had taken the chance to go through his catalog, go through his video catalog, right now to this day. Kevin Samuels has a video in his video catalog entitled Black Women. Oh, no, not Black Women. It's entitled Women Should Let Men Use Them. That's the title of the video, guys. That's the title of the video. Hold on a second. Let me go ahead and create. Because, see, I don't think you guys heard me. I'm going to type it on the screen so you can see it. Women should let men use them. There we go. Let me save it. How do I save this? All right. No, I didn't want that to be a ticker. There we go. All right. Women should let men use them. That was the title of the video. So if you guys want to know why we celebrate, it's because of stuff like this. He got a video titled Women Should Let Men Use Them. This was his message and his legacy. On top of telling women not to believe their children if they come to them and tell them that their high value man is touching on them and doing things to them. Oh, and let's not forget that he is for domestic discipline. But you all want to act like you don't know. I don't know why. You all are evil. You're calling me evil? You bitch. You got the nerve to call me evil? Me who I have never said, hey, don't believe your kids if they come to you and say somebody touched them. I didn't say that. Kevin said that. I don't have a video telling Black women that they should let men use them. Kevin did that. I am not running around here saying that men have a right to use domestic discipline against a woman because they're having an argument or a disagreement. I didn't do that. Kevin did that. You bitches. You low-level thinking heifers. You finger-wagging, fake Christian bitches. Did you go and even check out the man's video catalog? Did you go and look at any of the videos? Hell, I got reaction videos right here that have snippets of the shit that he have done and said to these women. And some of you know, just like that girl's mother know. Some of you already know. And you just don't give a damn. So don't bring your fake Christian finger wagging ass around here. Don't wag your finger in my face talking about don't celebrate that man's death and that I'm evil. That nigga was evil. That's the evil motherfucker. Not us that celebrated the death of a tyrant. We celebrate and we're happy because his message will die with him, hopefully. I really hope that they can take the channel too. Get it off of here. And all of you that support him, I hope the FBI delves deep into an investigation on all of you. All of you women that supported him, I hope the FBI delves deep into an investigation on all of you. Yes, Karen McQueen, he had 28,000 live viewers daily. And this was 28,000 viewers that he had daily that he could groom and he could poison with his destructive message. And you all are running around wanting to build monuments to this asshole. You're building monuments to a man that pretty much approved what happened to this young lady. He endorsed it because he was the one that said that this woman who was defending him on Twitter should not believe her child. And this woman took his message so seriously that she was all up and through Twitter saying that he was right, that her 13-year-old daughter is fast and tried to steal her man. She really thought that he tried to steal her man. Lord have mercy. Now, before I take off, before I get out of here, I'm going to play the 911 call from TMZ because everybody was questioning whether or not that nurse actually tried to come to Kevin Samuels' aid that morning when he was complaining of chest pains and before he died. So I know you guys probably heard it already, but you're going to also hear it here at the Faith Factor and get my take on it before I close out. So here we go.
Yes. Okay. Are you listening? Hold on, ma'am. I have to connect you with the ambulance. It's Kevin fucking Samuel. I understand, but I have to connect you with the ambulance. Are you okay? Yeah. Is he awake? No, he has a regular rhythm.
Wait a minute. You guys are saying you can't hear? Okay, hold on a second. I'll turn up the volume then. I'm sorry.
Okay, it's the house or apartment.
Uh-oh, sorry about that. Now my internet won't start messing up on me. All right, there we go.
Oh my God.
Let me know if you can hear.
Oh my God.
Oh, I guess I can't toggle in between.
You don't know if it's a house or apartment? Oh, it's an apartment. Okay, what's the apartment number? No, I just need to give him CPR. Please, you need an ambulance? Yes. Okay. Are you listening? Hold on, ma'am. I have to connect you with the ambulance. It's Kevin fucking Samuel. I understand, but I have to connect you with the ambulance. Are you okay? Is he awake? No, he has an irregular rhythm. I can feel it. He's breathing in and out, but he has an irregular rhythm. It's probably his heart. So he's gonna get here with the fucking son of man. I'm up. Stop it. Come on, Kevin, you got it. Come on, just try to breathe. Come on, you got it. Come on, think about your mom. Think about your daughter. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. Just call the front desk to get an AED. He's not gonna make it. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. But man, I want you to disconnect. Something can happen. Why don't you disconnect now? Yeah, but I'm saying I need an AED. If they have one downstairs, I need to get them up here now. Are you able to hang up with you, or you call them in the front desk, give me a fucking AED right here now. any longer.
All right. So that was the call. I don't know if you guys were able to hear it clearly or not. I tried to turn the volume up as loud as I possibly could. So it appears to me, now to be fair, it appears to me that this lady did indeed try to revive Kevin. It sounds like she was doing the 1, 2, 3 CPR steps on him. So, you know, when Kevin became non-responsive, that was the appropriate thing to do, was to perform CPR. So, you know, for all the people that were sitting up here, you know, with the conspiracy theories and saying that, oh, you know, she tried to kill him and all that type of stuff. That's not what it sounded like during the 911 call. Now, of course, we couldn't see what was going on, but she seemed to be very, very concerned about his safety. I will say that. But now, one last thing that I do want to say about that, because it's brought to my attention that the young lady, I guess she was getting so much attention from social media that she closed off her Instagram account, her Facebook account. She closed off all of these accounts. But something kind of stood out to me, and I just wanted to kind of bring it to your attention. And with that, I'm going to end the stream. But okay, this is a Instagram account for Hortensia Alcantara. Now I can't roll my R's and all that type of stuff. So, but on this account, she has 6 posts, and those 6 posts are just 6 pictures of her. Now, people were saying that first post where she had this picture down here at the lower bottom right hand corner of the screen, this picture down here, they said that the other post that actually contained this picture right here wasn't her real post. But you go to this other profile, and let me tell you, when I was first looking for her, the only profile that showed up at the time was that other profile on Instagram. Now, 2 hours later, 2 profiles with this woman's name shows up. And it's the original profile that had like 20,000 followers or 15,000 followers at that time. It was that other profile. Hold on a second. I can't. Did I stop sharing? Hold on. View tab. Oh, I can't see it anymore. Hold on. Let me bring it back up. Sorry, guys. But it was this profile right here. Okay. So if you guys can see it closer. And this was the picture that was in the other profile. But now this picture appears in this profile. And then they want to say that the much smaller, you know, and she's just as pretty as the other woman picture in the other profile. But this was the original picture in the other profile that they said that picture wasn't her. So now going back to the other profile, this profile is gone. Okay. And that picture that you saw on the other profile at the bottom left was right here. And they try to say this wasn't the original profile. But when I first went to go see her, this was the only profile. She had about 15,000 followers at the time, and she was following about the same amount of people. Okay. She took down all her posts, but she had like maybe 82 posts. So she had more followers. She had more people that she was following, and she had more posts. And so I'm saying this to say, because right here, it looks like she took it down. And, you know, it says she's a registered nurse on this profile. The other profile doesn't say anything about her being a registered nurse. But on this profile, it says she's a registered nurse. She's 32. She has no kids, and she lives in Atlanta. Let me go and look at the other profile. On that other profile, okay, it says RN ATL too. So I don't know. But the Manosphere is trying to push this profile as being the original profile, even though it has less this profile has less followers and less people following. So it looked like it's one of those new accounts that they just threw up there. Because like I said, within the hours of us finding out her name, when I typed the name in originally, this profile was nowhere to be found. This profile popped up 2 hours later. Okay, so I'm kind of thinking that the manosphere or whoever doesn't want us to think that he was with the other woman did that, because this was her original profile, and you can see that she took her picture off of this profile. With that picture that was at the bottom left of that profile, it was right here. And, you know, she had a whole lot of other stuff. But you can see here, this profile looks like it's more aged because there's more followers and more people following. So this looks like a more aged profile. So I really tend to think that this is her actual profile. And then here it says that she wants people to leave her and her family alone, please. So this really makes me think that this is the original person, because she blacked out this profile and telling people to leave her alone. But the manosphere left the other profile up for you to see. Just wanted to point that out. Just wanted to point out that little factoid. Okay. So the Kevin Samuels cleanup force is in full effect. I just want you guys to be on the lookout for the Kevin Samuels cleanup force. Now, while Kevin Samuels was alive, they called themselves the Kevin Samuels Defense Force, because they had to defend a lot of that bullshit that he was saying online all the time. And it was protect Kevin Samuels at all costs. Now that Kevin Samuels is gone, they are now the Kevin Samuels cleanup force, and they're cleaning up the mess that he left behind. So be on the lookout for stuff like this, people. Be on the lookout and don't be fooled. But with that, guys, I want to thank you all for coming in and listening. I have to be somewhere, but I do want to thank you all for coming. As per usual, I love you all. And with that, I've got to say, peace. And I am out.